Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. What's going on, yo? What's going on? What's going on? Look, so I covered this professor before, Miss Marcia, excuse me, Miss Marcia Inhorn. Um, she did an interview not too long ago on a channel called Girls Gotta Eat, and she covered the same thing. Her book, speaking about, this kind of mismatch between men and women, causing young men and young women primarily. When I say young, I mean under the age of like 45, which is causing women to freeze their eggs. So this is the opposite end of what Ebony K. Williams is speaking about, right? So Ebony K. Williams is speaking about getting vials of sperm, right? And I think Ebony K. Williams has her eggs frozen also, if I'm not mistaken. But she was speaking about getting vials of sperm. On the opposite end are women freezing their eggs. And apparently, if you whatever age you are when you get those eggs frozen, that's the age that those eggs are, right? So if you're 30, they're 30. They're going to be 30-year-old eggs. If you're 32, they're going to be 32-year-old eggs. If you're 28, they're going to be 28-year-old eggs. This is the truth, right? This is what it is. Now, Miss Inhorn speaks to these two young ladies on the channel. These ladies, I think they're giving the vibe, and they've kind of spoken to being somewhere in the late 30s. Sounds like. Neither one of them are necessarily interested in having children. It seems. But they're interested in the subject matter, and it's just the usual, right? So what we hear from this is, at the least, it's $10,000 for one cycle of egg freezing. But when all the costs are tallied up for just one cycle of egg freezing, you're looking at more like $18,000 to $20,000. So, like I covered the first time I covered this, this is not for women with no money, right? This is a very expensive procedure, right? So one round, you're looking at, and that goes between freezing the egg, storing it can be anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a year, and then getting it thawed out and everything like that afterward. You're looking at a procedure that's, give or take, about $20,000, $20,000, right? So on average, the women are 36 and a half years old, 36.6, so 36 and a half years old when they're getting their eggs frozen, right? So this is like what we understand to be kind of Hail Mary type of situation, right? This is this is Hail Mary. I'm not too far from 40. Let me hurry up and get this done now, because it doesn't look like this thing is working. Whatever I'm doing in the dating scene isn't working. My expectations, my ideas aren't matching up with the men. So yeah, right? And shout out to Gold Professor, right? And y'all already know, as I said, when Gold Professor's in the room, I like to remind y'all that Gold Professor was the first person to suggest that Mr. Z start his channel, which I eventually did. So y'all send all y'all hate mail to Gold Professor, right? And shout out to you, Gold Professor, right? So yeah, so this is why it's interesting. 36.6, not 30, not 28, not 32, on average 36.6, right? So the blonde woman on the show, on the channel, for those of you that clicked the link, she said something along the lines of, men have to catch up. Okay, now we're gonna get into the fun stuff. Catch up to who, for what? All right, let me start like one of them. For what? Right? Catch up to who? Oh, wait, you think we care about your degree the way you care about your degree? Let me say this, because I think women, when they hear, at least black men say this, they think they're getting it misconstrued. Your degree is a wonderful thing. You being educated, formally educated is not a negative thing. But a man isn't marrying your degree. Your degree is a plus. If you work, it brings in more money, right? If you paid off your debt, if your debt is not crushing, your student loan debt isn't crushing, all of these are great things. But men aren't marrying your degree. And dear ladies, if you're an a-hole, if you're mean, if you're condescending, if you're snarky, if you're combative, if you're too overweight for his liking, if he don't like your face, right? He don't like your height. None of your degree does not. It doesn't put you over the finish line. And what it looks like is women are trying to make up for some type of character flaw. It's interesting hearing these people talk about character flaws in men. Some type of character flaw with a degree, with their income. No, just no, right? Catch up to who? Men have to catch up. Catch up to who? For what? For a 50-50 divorce rate, and you're going to file for divorce at 70 to 80%, and if you're college educated, 90%? Nah, right? Nope, you could keep that. Nope, I'm good. And clearly, and this is another thing, right? This is not just a US issue. In 60% of the world's nations, women are outperforming men educationally. So y'all got it, ladies. Second wave feminism won. Y'all got what y'all were asking for, but you didn't read the fine print. Oops. Right? Right? You didn't read the fine print. And that's okay. But this is what it looks like. Right? And that's why my title is what it is. You didn't read the fine print. You didn't read the fine print. Over the past 40, 50 years, women have won the gender war, but you didn't read the fine print. You didn't read what it looks like when you win the gender war. Now white men are reeling that back. But you didn't read the fine print of what it looks like. Well, and the tone of this conversation was how it's so not fair, right? That was the tone of the conversation, much like when Miss Inhorn spoke, to the other interviewee a few months ago, or was that a year ago? The tone is still, it's not fair. That's the underlying tone, right? Women are killing it, right? Women are kicking ass and taking names, and it's just not fair that they're in the dating scene with these loser Peter Pan men, which is a phrase they use often, right? And Peter Pan men are men who will not grow up. Once again, grow up for who? And what do you mean by grow up? Oh, you mean take on the responsibility of taking care of a woman who actually thinks she's better than you and then divorces you in 5 to 10 to 15 years anyway? Yeah. How about not? Right? How about not? Peter Pan, men who never grow up. Grow up for who? And when you mean grow up, what do you mean? Oh, be provider and protector for someone that if you're not a baller is going to divorce you anyway. Once again, I want to like to direct y'all to that divorce statistic that showed 26% of poor Americans are married, 39% of middle class, 56% of upper middle class and above. And by the way, that's that's for the people that are married. That's the marriage rate, but poorer people are less likely to get married in the first place. So you're less likely to get married if you are poorer, and if you do get married, you're more likely to get divorced. And you're asking men to step up in these developed nations for who? Miss Inhorn also mentions Canada. She mentions, Europe. She mentions Asia, and pretty much say this is, going on around the world. 60% of nations, quote unquote, the men are outperforming the women, whatever that means. And once again, the undertone is this is not fair. Fair. Yawn. Right? Also, what they say was men are not ready. Ready? Ready for who? Ready for what? To take on these entitled brats with degrees? To take on what are essentially spoiled brat toddlers in women's bodies? Oh wait, I'm sorry. You think because your daughter has a degree and she uses 4 and 5 syllable words and she may be a good employee means that she's going to be a good wife? Yeah, no. And clearly, more and more men in unison are saying, yeah, no. Uh-oh. That indifference hurt, don't it, ladies? Shout out to all you swirlers and divestors. These are white women talking. All of this is white women. Uh-oh. Black men are not on my level. I'm just gonna get me a white man. That's why so many of you are marrying white dudes that are air quotes not on your level too. Quiet as kept. Y'all didn't read the fine print, right? Men are not ready for these entitled a-holes, right? So something like 25% of men in America in their 40s are childless, according to Miss Inhorn, right? So she kind of reeled that back just a little bit because she wasn't so sure the number, but the number she spit out initially was 25%. So if she's correct, then give it, so that's a quarter of men in their 40s in America who are childless. That's a nice small number. That's a nice number. That's not 5 or 10%, not even 15, a quarter. So to all the brothers in their 40s who might feel a certain way, you're not alone. See, these people are convinced that they've made the environment super pleasant for men. It's the women that have to pick through men not on their level because they think on their level is because they have an education and they might be making some 65, 70, 75, 80 grand a year plus with crap attitudes, mean, condescending, combative, snarky, and entitled. Oh, and materialistic. And they think they can make up for all of that with a degree in 80 grand a year. Yeah, nope. Right? What they know what the divorce rate is. They know better than to ask men to take the risk. So now they're just trying to shame you into taking the risk. And it was said in the, let's, to be fair, it was said like, these men might have experienced a divorce and they're just not interested in marriage, because it was somewhat traumatizing for them also. You think? They might have been the son of a divorcee and you think? When it's always the man's fault in a divorce, why would young men in China, in Japan, in Korea, in all across Europe, in Canada, in America, in the black community in America, why would they get married, especially under a certain income bracket, when they know that it's most likely going to lead to divorce and it's always going to be your fault, even if it's not? Why would they sign up for that? Because people like Dave Ramsey are trying to shame them? People like Steve Harvey are trying to shame them? Hell no. Sign up for what? Right? So in the conversation, it was said something like, it's not expected, modern times it's not expected for men to get married. That's not your issue. Your issue isn't that it's not expected for men to get married, right? At all. Your issue is men are looking around and saying, married to who? Right? So what we have is all across the world, the women are being loud when they're saying married to these people. They're not on our level educationally. They don't earn enough. The men outside of these kind of manosphere spaces on the interweb, the men aren't doing that much loud talking in reality. Out in the real world, their actions are saying, yeah, we're not interested. Right? The men's actions are showing that, yeah, marry who? Right? The men's actions are saying that. Right? Look at these people. Look at these people. My apologies, y'all. Driving slow around the circle, crossing the street in a busy road, like just all type of foolishness. But back to the subject at hand. Back to the subject at hand. Right? My apologies, y'all. Yeah, back to the subject at hand. So, marry who? Be the and these are people that want to have they want to have children in a nuclear family. They want to be married, but they're heterosexual. Clearly, I think Miss Inhorn said the people that she interviewed, only 3 of them were bisexual. But yeah, this is the environment, of course, right? This and by the way, they do use the word unicorn. The women admit that they're looking for a unicorn. They admit it. And they're throwing a fit that they're not meeting the unicorn. And they're, air quotes, not going to settle. You don't have to settle. Have fun. See what you thought. Let's go through it. Now it's time to get our 5 chuckles in. What you thought is that you were going to choke the men out by taking the vagina off the table. That didn't work. What you thought you were going to do was shame the men. All through the media, all in books and movies. That didn't work. What you thought was you were going to get a bunch of old heads to then shame the men. That didn't work. Right? What you thought were you going to call them all type of INCLSs all through the media and social media. That didn't work. For black women and women of color, you thought that you were going to put up the mythical, magical white man as some type of carrot and stick. Pause. That didn't work. Right? What you thought was that you were going to put a bunch of pictures and all over social media showing you in your brunches, drinking your mimosas, having fun with no men. I could do all that by myself. That didn't work. What you thought you were going to do was do we'll be passport sisses. We'll be passport girls and we'll go out of town and we'll have fun without the men. That didn't work. Fine. We could have sex with young men just like men have sex with young women. That didn't work. We could be cougars. Dear women, if you never heard white young men say it, they call you target practice. To all you cougars out there, I want to say that again just in case you don't understand. Target practice. Practice. Translation. They ain't staying around. Not saying that you want them to stay around, because in the back of your mind, you know what this is, but they call you target practice. To all you MILFs out there. The young white men call y'all target practice. Right? This is what it is. So you didn't read the fine print, ladies. You throwing a temper tantrum all across the world, speaking about how men are not on your level all across the world, speaking about how you're outperforming and outdoing young men all across. Then deal with other women. Go eat vagina then. All these shaming tactics. Well, y'all need to get on our level. Who said? Oh wait, y'all thought y'all the only ones that could do negative liberty. Y'all thought. Let me get this right. Women get to be free, but men have to be under the constraint of being these super dads and super husbands, right? Yeah, how about I don't have to be a dad or a husband because I'm not getting married or having children with you? Uh-oh. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. And also, a segment of the conversation, and y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, right? A segment of the conversation, the young ladies were speaking about their dads and their dads being such great dads and kick-ass dads. And you know what Mr. Z heard? Y'all raised a bunch of spoiled brats. To all you girl dads out there, be mindful not to raise a spoiled, entitled brat, a a-hole, mean, condescending brat. Be mindful. A woman that can't make it work with any man because all you did was spoil her and tell her how great she is all day throughout her life. And now no man is, air quotes, good enough for your have fun not ever being a grandfather. Goddamn. Right? Because all of you telling her, yeah, there's never going to be a man that's good enough. Yeah, you're right. Fine. Yeah, you're right. Now what? Right? Yeah, you're right. Now what? All of you girl dads blowing smoke up your daughter's ass. Now what? Have fun not being a grandfather. Y'all raised some of the meanest, most a-hole daughters in the world. They're good employees, some of them, right? They're good students in school, some of them. But girlfriend and wife material? Yep, nope. Fine. All right, fine. They're not raised to be wives. They're raised to be partners. They're not even good partners. Uh-oh. Fine. They're not playing the wife role. That's old school. They're doing the partner thing. They're not good partners. They wouldn't even be good business partners. Fine, you raise them to think neoliberal, be on some partnership thing with men. They're not even good partners. So even if we take your new metric and say being a wife is out the window, that's a role they're no longer going to play. They're going to be a partner on some business thing. They're not even good partners. And the men know it. Now, Mr. Z and the Black Manosphere are able to articulate these things. We damn near turn this into a science project. We're doing the social math, and most men aren't. But they can feel this. They know. They may not be able to articulate it as well as Mr. Z or others, or better, others that are better than Mr. Z at articulating this. But they know. They know something's not right. They know that this is a bad deal. And they show it through action. They show action. Black men said, oh yeah, so they're getting vials of sperm and they're freezing their eggs. Because they think, well, I can't find the men on my level. These men are immature, they're Peter Pans. They're not educated on my level. They're not, they're not earning enough. Okay, then. I don't know what part of equality you thought this was. Right? So you have 60-40 split in college enrollment, and somehow magically men are still supposed to be coming out of college at the same level as women and then marrying those women. Oh wait, and it's always supposed to be college educated men marrying college educated women. And I'm glad Miss Inhorn did not use the word, I don't recall her using the term assortative mating. She said hypergamy. Because let's be very clear, this weirdo euphemism y'all using, assortative mating, that is not what women are really trying to do. They're trying to do hypergamy as college educated, master's, PhD educated women, and then use the euphemism of assertive mating. No, y'all are locking the door. Y'all college educated women are locking the door behind college educated men and call it assertive mating. No, those dudes would date non-college educated women. You won't date a non-college educated man, not in any seriousness, and that's okay. But it's not assertive mating. It's the best you can get because you can't be hypergamous. Right? So the ladies are getting what they asked for. They just didn't read the fine print. The ladies are getting, this is what you wanted. This is what you want. The whole system has been rejiggered to be more favorable to women. There's apps, fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you enter the dating world. And it's very interesting to see white women speaking like this. Where you at, Chrissy? Uh-oh. Where you at, Yanni? Kim Foster, where you at? Lexus Exodus, Mahogany Peak, where are y'all? Cynthia G, where are y'all? Where are all of you? Divested Zealot, right? Shira 7, where are y'all? All of you. Right? Black women are the only ones that are told to settle. What do black women got to settle? The problem is colorism. The problem is featureism, texturism, all this other stuff. It's because we're black women. It's because we're dark-skinned black women. It's because black men haven't stepped up. Nobody's forcing black men to step up. It's not fair. Meanwhile, white women complaining. Latina women complaining. Asian women chasing after white dudes. Goddamn, Mr. Z. Y'all got what y'all wanted. And dear girl dads, we don't want your daughters. How about that? Y'all can keep them. Shout out to Future. Tell Steve Harvey I don't want her. We don't want them. Y'all raised some of the meanest women on the face of the earth, some of the most entitled, bratty ass women on the face of the earth. And because they may be good employees or maybe good students, all of a sudden that makes them good wives, good girlfriends? Hell no. And y'all know it. Let me be very clear. Y'all know y'all raised a bunch of a-hole daughters. You're pretending like you don't know. You're pretending like you don't know why your daughter isn't married. You're pretending like you don't know why your daughter hasn't brought a young man to the house in 3, 4, 5 years. You're pretending like you don't know. Your entitled materialistic brat that might be a good student and might be a good employee is a horrible girlfriend and a ticking time bomb of a wife. And that's why she's freezing her eggs and running to the sperm bank to get vials of sperm. All you girl dads who raise spoiled brats, y'all blew smoke up her ass for 20 some odd years of her life. And then wonder, and then look at your sons like, oh, y'all are immature, and that's the problem. You don't want to be married, and you don't want to take on the responsibility of being a husband to your entitled brat ass daughter. Your mean ass daughter, hell no. Tell her go eat vagina. Tell her if she ever considered same-sex relationships. Right? How about them apples? We're not interested. We're not interested. All what you think women are the only ones with horror stories in dating? You watch all these movies, all you see is are women with complaining about dating men. All through these television shows, all through these movies, like they're a bowl and ray of sunshine dating them. 30% of women admitted, a third of women admitted to doing foodie calls. So if it's a third that admitted it, then it got to be 2/3 that actually do it. And for those of you that don't know what foodie calls is, it's a woman that's really not interested in you, but because of the restaurant or because she has nothing else to do or because, you know, she knows you're going to pay for the food, she'll go on the date with you, but she's really not interested. And it's not going to go anything past you pretty much buying her food. Right? And y'all are reading these articles, you know what it is. And as a matter of fact, Miss Inhorn kind of makes this comment like, maybe some of these women are a bit, doing too much. Because Miss Inhorn herself, or Dr. Inhorn herself, married a man who wasn't college educated and she had a PhD already. She already had a PhD when she married her husband, and he was not college educated. And they've been married, I think she said 30 some odd years, 30 years. But Miss Inhorn, the masses of women all across the West, they're not hearing you. And they think they're better than their male counterparts. That part too. Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Except the men don't agree. And the men are showing through actions. The vast majority of men are nowhere near these red pill spaces. They're not having these type of conversations so overtly, right? They might not be able to articulate themselves the way that Z is articulating himself right now, but their actions are saying everything. Their actions are speaking volumes. Their actions are saying, yeah, I'm not interested. As I said before, the link that I put in one of the previous videos, one of my more recent videos, the white woman straight up said they would rather be at home watching porn. Yes, because it's easier. Yes, right. See, that's another thing. Trying to shame men with this talk of adult content. Oh, only loser weirdos do that. Now what? Y'all have to re-socialize these women, people. It's not the education. Dear ladies, men are not intimidated by your formal education. Stop saying that, particularly black men and the black community. Black men in the black community are not intimidated by no women's formal education. It's not a thing in the black community in particular, not for black men. The formal education is not intimidating. You being an a-hole and we could smell on the first and second date, that's the problem. You being an entitled brat, that's the problem. The way you speak to the waitress, we're watching it, that's the problem. The fact that we're trying to have a conversation and we can barely get a word in edgewise, that's the problem. The fact that you're pretending that you have way more money than you actually have as a way of saying, well, these are my standards, that's the problem. Bringing up exes and past experiences and these trips and all of your bags and how much money that's the problem. It is not your formal education. It's not your bachelor's, it's not your master's, it's not your PhD. That's not the problem. It is not intimidating. Are you kind? Are you fit? Do you know how to have a conversation that's not going to lead to an argument? Are you in crippling student loan debt? Can you follow some damn instructions outside of your boss? Are you always on edge, ready to have an argument? Are you combative? Are you mean-spirited? Are you vengeful? Do you hold on to gripes forever? Are you still talking about the dudes that overlooked you in high school? That's what men are attempting to avoid. Men are attempting to avoid women with character flaws and issues that hide behind their degrees and their academic accomplishments, that hide behind their career, and think that they can make up for character flaw with a degree in a career that earns 60,000, 65 plus, 80,000 plus, 100, 120 plus. You should have got married to the dude in college and stayed. Because once you creep past and or catch a lame slipping in your 20s, maybe early 30s. But once you pass that 35-year-old mark, oh, it's what? And you're mean? And what, you gonna make up for it with what? And then you're gonna double and triple down as you get older? Right? Double and triple down as you get older? Sound more aggressive, y'all like to call it assertive, as you get older? And men are supposed to eat that? Why? Because people like Dave Ramsey and Steve Harvey try to shame them? Hell no. The white guys are giving Dave Ramsey the middle finger. The black guys are giving Steve Harvey the middle finger. We don't want your a-hole daughters. Your materialistic, mean, condescending, snarky daughters. We don't want them. The entitled brats that you raised, we don't want them. See, once again, oh, we raised a bunch of immature men. They don't want to step up to 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 what for who? These are amazing women. Oh, you listen to that interview and they kept, these are amazing, my friend. There are so amazing women and they're kick ass and they're doing this and they just can't find men that are on their level. Nope. Because you find her funny doesn't mean we find her funny. She could be woman funny. There are women that are funny to women and men are just be their straight face. Because she's funny to you don't mean she's funny to us. Because she's a great girlfriend does not mean she's going to be a great wife. And when I say girlfriend, I mean girlfriend to the girlfriends, friend girlfriend. She's a great friend to you, maybe. Doesn't mean she's going to be a great wife or even a great girlfriend. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Thank you, Gold Professor. Hit that like button, right? And men's actions are showing that. And so, once again, as Miss Inhorn herself said, 60% of countries, women are quote unquote what outpacing men. Right. Well, this is what it looked like. So I got a little bit of time. Y'all hit me with some super chats and I'll open up the um why can't I get this out? I'll put the link in the comments. I got a little bit of time. Mr. Z gotta be out of here in about an hour ish, right? I'm definitely gonna go check out the Jason Black's The Business. I might be coming on that tomorrow morning. But yeah. But it's like, yeah, that whole thing with Tina Knowles. Oh, that part. Oh, y'all notice it's a bunch of did we call it or did we call it's going out around here. And I want to be very clear. If we were reliant on mainstream media, if the internet wasn't a thing, these conversations would have never happened on this level. But because the internet democratized the town square, we can now have these conversations. And more importantly, we can now also forward our ideas. But before this high-speed internet, before these live streams and these streaming services that allowed 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 10 people to be having the conversation on the stream and then however many people in the comments, before that this was not a thing, right? And we have to be honest, like this is what men think. Men that don't know each other, men from not only just different parts of the country, from different countries, right? Particularly for black men. Now, I'm not speaking for nobody else. Black men are not about subjugating black women. Even your own sociologists are speaking about how black men are the most egalitarian men in the country, which means black men in America arguably might be some of the most egalitarian men on the planet. And yet your a-hole, mean, condescending daughters sound like Chrissy, sound like Yanni, right? Sound like Ostefco, sound like Kim Foster. And that's to the most egalitarian men in the country. They sound like that too. If it wasn't for white men's money and status, how would those relationships look with black women? Kim Crystal and Kerosene still couldn't even make it work with the white man she kept on throwing in everybody's face. Right? Halle Berry couldn't make it work. What's the supermodel name again? Not not Naomi Campbell. What's the sister name again? Her face is right there. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Ugh. She couldn't make it work with the white dude she had the kid with. Right? Or at least I heard that she couldn't make it work. But either way, right? So what if we don't raise women that are more Tyra Banks? Thank you, KW Don. Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks. Right? So once again, the question becomes, what does neoliberalism look like? What does materialism look like? What does a skewed worldview about men look like when women have it? Have we really done an investigation on women not holding up their end of whatever this non-new social contract is? If we're taking provider protector off the table for men under the 75-80% mark, then are women under that mark prepared for those relationships? And if they're not, then so be it. And that's what your men are showing through action, right? And Spain man, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker, right? And that's what your sons are showing through action. So no, Miss Christine Emba, no, Mr. Scott Galloway, no, Dr. Richard Reeves, your sons are not signing up to be protector and provider for these entitled a-hole women. And so, yeah, let them freeze their eggs because you didn't have them read the fine print of what equality actually looks like, what egalitarianism actually looks like. And that means for some women, yes, you're going to be the primary provider. Yes, by a distance too, not by no little $5,000 a year, by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, you might be more educated than your male counterpart. Yeah, that's what it's going to look like. Once again, we already have what? 40% of women earn more than their male counterparts, right? And once again, we're talking about the women that might not be on the power trip, might not be. So once again, the ladies didn't read the fine print, right? And Miss Inhorn, Dr. Inhorn, isn't writing a book about freezing eggs and how it's kind of not fair because the men are not doing their part, but doing their part for who? For what? Right? The like I said, the undertone was it's not fair. That's the underlying, tone. But fair for who? Right? And I'll put the link in the chat for anyone that wants to come up. I'm I cover these topics because it's important that we get out our thoughts as men, as black men living in the early part of the 21st century. That way, anybody come up on us in the future, look, this is what it is, right? Come up on this in the future, this is what it is. What's going on, line?
What's up, Z?
What's going on with you,
Just to respond to that, not being fair, bullshit. Yes, it is.
right?
Yes, it is fair. Yes, it is. It's what you wanted. You
Bruh,
wouldn't
they
have
didn't read the fine print.
signed. Yeah, you didn't read the fine. Yes, it is. That's the first thing. No, no, I'm not buying that shit. It's not fair. Yes, it is. You didn't want. You didn't want to rely on men for survival when it comes to protecting provision. All right, cool. You got that.
They,
Cool.
but it's not fair. Now I gotta freeze my eggs, and now I gotta go to the sperm bank, and now.
I thought you had money out the ass. What happened?
Hey, bro, and these are white women talking like this. So you imagine what the sisters are saying.
I thought y'all had money out the ass. What happened? What
No, but
happened?
let's be honest. The white women are doing that. The black women are just have sex with you, have your baby, and they out the door once the baby is 9 months, if even shit. Once they pregnant, they out the door.
Yeah, we know, but now that we know that it's already dispelled that most black men don't have kids.
Yeah, so we starving them out too,
So we solving them out. Now y'all came. Now here you go with Ebony K. Williams with her sperm bank infomercial.
right?
Pretty much what
Exactly.
that was, and she knew she was foul for that. That's why she turned the comments off in that original video because she
Yep.
knew. That's why the comments is off because she knew
Well,
that was complete BS.
and she know people like Mr. Z was gonna be like, "Oh, wait a minute, I know you,
Yeah,
Miss. These
you.
Negroes ain't on my level.
Yeah, like that's the
I know
irony.
you ain't talking about sperm bank,
Yeah, that's the irony of it. So men not on that. They not on my level. I will not be subject to mediocrity. But let me get that sperm though.
bruh.
But let me get that sperm though.
You should have went with the bus driver.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
should you should have went with a chisel chin, friggin'
Should have been on welfare.
Tyrone
Mm-hmm.
Metro bus driver.
Yeah.
Dude make good money. He's stable, but no, you feel embarrassed,
No, it'd be like the bus driver got sperm.
right?
No, wait, Mr. Z, I
Go
do
ahead.
know one of the guys that goes to my gym, believe it or not. Yes, he is a bus driver. Yes, the dude is like super like ripped and stuff like that too. So I'm like,
She should
you're
have
not
she
lying
she
about
should have
that.
been with the bus driver. She should have been with
Yeah,
the bus driver. She should have said yes to Miss Iola Van Zandt. You should have said yes. Now look at you. And you're so loud and so smug. I don't see who signs up for that, yo. I don't see who's gonna sign up for Ebony K. Williams.
I don't
I
use
don't
the
even
word
see the
simp,
white man doing it,
and I don't use the word simp freely, but the dude that signs up for that, yeah, he's a simp. He
bruh.
yeah.
he is all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and going back to what your point,
Mhm.
we talk about like the neoliberal just like neoliberal assumptions where people
Assessment
are
of
acting
men,
like
yeah.
where it's like we're all acting like temporary and various millionaires.
Hmm.
Um, when Ryan was on Roger Report's panel
Hmm.
earlier today, I think it said he had mentioned something about like starting a bank or something like that, and I'm just like, I checked the information, and I'm like, brother, to start a bank, not only do you need an FDIC license, but you need at least 12 to 20 million dollars minimum in capital to be able to start up a bank. So
And
like,
that's a micro bank. That's a joke of a bank with 20 million,
exactly. That's a micro bank. Yeah. So
right?
I'm like, good lord. I'm like, to get something like a big size bank, you would need like 50, 100 million, a billion
Bro, let me
dollars and
tell
stuff
you
like
something.
that.
You ain't
Bruh,
starting
it's
no real
crazy.
bank, a real like a bank like worth even not even mentioning. Like you said, 100 mil at minimum. If you're not gonna get laughed at the room, but really, bro, we're talking billions of dollars nowadays, bro. Any bank that's playing with anything less than like 500 mil, $1 billion, you're really not a bank, right? You're storing people's loose change. It's messed up. I just said that, but really, if you're not playing with at least 500 million, you're storing people's loose change, right? So like that's yeah. If Raw said that, I get it. Me and Raw come from two different sides of the political spectrum. I get it, but no, bro, nah, right? And it's just yo. Silicon Valley Bank went down, and they had what? They were playing with what? A couple billion, some billions, bruh. Okay, all right, whatever. I'm not even. I'm not. I'm not even. I'm not even. Back to Ebony K. Williams. Oh, bum ass. All right. So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got
Oh,
you.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Now sometimes you're talking, and black people once the stuff goes silent, y'all still alive? But yeah, no. At the end of the day, I don't see who signs up for this modern thing. I don't see what men sign up for what these ladies are talking about. Y'all gonna freeze y'all legs. It's gonna be a thing. And I
Yeah,
agree with
and it's
Ebony
going to
K.
be
Williams.
embarrassing
Go ahead.
too because what's going to happen is that it's going to raise the cost of child rearing even more. So it's like you're going to
Mm,
pay all this money, have your freeze your eggs, and then pay for the well being of the child, and then just pay, 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 pay.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, and unfortunately, I think uh, what's going to happen is one of two things. I think what's going to happen is that either these tradcon dudes, trying to be simps, are going to try to push the responsibility onto the men and try to force men
Yeah.
even more to
Yeah.
try to take responsibility for children that aren't theirs, which is going to discourage relationships even more.
Yep.
Or what's going to happen is that it's going to be one of those situations where like right before it gets too late, a lot of these social engineers are just going to basically say, "Yeah, we lied. Yeah, we fucked up. Yeah, we screwed up. They were
I don't
right."
know, bro.
You know,
I don't. You
but
know
I
why?
don't think they're going to do that because
Yeah, me
what's going to
neither.
happen is
They're
that
too old.
admitting fault would destroy their
Hmm.
prestige and credibility.
Yes.
Because think about how much hatred people start to look down on them like motherfucker, you set us up for failure. Like
Yeah.
it's like being with a coach. You know what I mean? It's like having a talented team led by a bad coach, but the coach actually has the gall to admit that they're a bad coach and just be like, "Yeah, bro, I kind of screwed you guys. Not gonna lie." You know what I
What
mean?
had happened was.
Exactly. What had happened was like 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 when Hugh Jackson was coaching the Browns. You see, what had happened was is that I wasn't having enough talent, and it's like you had Nick Chubb and like you wanted him to play on the punt team instead of being the starting running back, like, but you said what had happened was like, bro, he's averaging 5 yards a carry, but you're only giving him 3 carries a game. I'm
Right.
like, but what had happened was like, nah, you didn't know what the hell you were doing, so
Let me read this real quick. Big Kev. And Pensive says mandatory sponsor challenge for men for real. For real, that like that, I definitely see that being a possibility. Black Uru said this maybe over a year ago. At this point, I definitely see them being like, all right, they want to play video games, fine, raise that subscription to like $1,000 a month type thing. Like I could see some insanity like that. But and I'm kind of being facetious here, but they're gonna try to find a way to get us off the couch. And what I mean by that is like get us off the porch to engage with these women. I can't think of how they do it because the women are even admitting like the dudes is rather be at home jacking off. Like, bruh. And saying like it's easier. Yeah. Like, what you thought? Right? So I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna have to rejigger this and socialize the women different. It's that simple. You've done as much as you can with you've reached your market cap with socializing the men differently. You got it with the younger Xers, you got it with the millennials, you have it with the Z's. You're probably gonna have it with the alphas. And I don't see how this works. You're going to have to work on the women, and they're trying not to. Well then,
No, they've done enough work on the women. What they need to do is start incentivizing the men.
how though? That's what I'm saying. How?
Yeah, I mean that's them. They figured it out with the women. Figure it out with the men. Figure it out.
Hey, they're trying to incentivize what they're trying to incentivize the men with. Angry, bitter vagina.
Hey,
That's good for a good lay,
figure,
maybe.
hey, you better figure that shit out, dog. You better put them heads together. Figure that shit out.
Oh,
Because nobody's
oh,
signing up for this shit without no incentive. Because that's
somebody play the Shannon Sharp saying the no with the duck lips,
no, no,
bro. Nobody play the Shannon Sharp. What's
nobody's
what's the freestyle brother name? Is it conceited? Play conceited with the
oh,
with the duck lips.
I don't
I
know about
don't
that.
know. Right,
I don't know about that. I don't know about
bro,
that. No, no.
bro. It's not a thing, bro. It's not a thing. I don't see it happening. I don't see it. Tampa, you could jump in whenever you want. Leon, you could jump in whenever you want. But yeah, bro, I don't see it happening.
I'm off work, so you hear my son in the background. But This is the thing. I'm thinking about my son's generation because he's going to be 2 years old soon, and we see how unions and certain things are going away, and
Hmm.
what kind of world they're going to be living in. So their idea of work and everything else would be a lot different. So it's kind of unclear for the beta generation or the alpha generation what it's going to be like for them. Their ideas of
Hmm.
relationship and everything. That's unknown to keep it
Yeah.
real. Like we're aware of it. Their ideas they're not aware of anything yet.
Hmm.
So it's completely unknown for that generation and what will be important to these kids.
Yeah.
You know because we can look over time, when people are having six kids around every country,
Yeah.
then you got down to
Yeah.
two, then it's 1.8, and people view it as like a bad thing, which I don't think it's a bad thing that women are having 1.8 kids or whatever. There was more reasons to have six kids in
Yeah.
previous generations than now. And let me go on mute real quick because he's turning up on from his playpen.
No, you're good. You're good. No, but I agree with you that I don't necessarily see two kids to me. That's good. That's good, especially if you have a boy and a girl. Shut down factory. You good. You won. You good. You good. Right. I don't necessarily see having two, three kids, even 1.8 kids average as a bad thing in a society. Here's the thing. Why is it that low if it's that low? Now, if we start seeing, oh, it's that low because more and more people can't afford to have children, at least they feel like they can't afford to have children, which probably means they can't. Um, if it's because we've kind of jiggered this thing in a way where women's career and the educational attainment it takes to get into certain career fields means that they're not exiting college and university until 28, 30 years old, right? Or they're not really getting their stride on in their career until their early 30s, right? If that's the environment you're putting people in, right? Or and like I've said it before, you know, we put marriage and children at the finish line of adulting. Our parents, if you're a younger Xer, if you're a older millennial, our parents walked into adulthood with children and spouse, right? In their mid and early 20s. Definitely by 30, but really in their mid and early 20s. What we did was make it at the finish line of adulting. And the way this economy is jiggered, a lot of people, first of all, never reach the finish line of adulting. When I mean that, I mean educationally or definitely financially, or they're reaching it at what, 35? When you're getting that stride, 36, 37, and then you're asking men to lock down a woman similar age as them at what, 38 years old? Man, that's not a thing, bro. And the environment is showing that it's not a thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're asking men to have geriatric kids
bro.
if they do, if they
And
get
that,
a chance to have kids.
you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's not a thing.
It just doesn't make any sense, man. And
When I
I just wanted to jump in real fast because we said
Good,
what we're
good.
going to do with all these women. They all
Hmm.
single, right? Well, there's a country that has over 20 million more men than women. It's called the People's Republic of China.
Right.
So I suggest all these women get their passports together, take your ass to China, learn some Chinese, stay on
Learn
that
some
farm,
Mandarin. Yep.
learn some Mandarin, stay on that farm, and just live your life because that's about all you're gonna get when it comes to relationship because it's just a bad deal. It's just
But
ultimately a bad deal. I mean, there would be a difference if let's say the prototype, Ebony K.
yeah,
If she was just like humble, feminine, and like, I have fun in my 20s and my 30s, I did my thing, but she's just so dogmatic about everything,
yep,
and she doesn't, and
yep,
that's the whole problem. It is it you. I know this was a term back in the day around the Black Manosphere, the mental homosexual. You seriously have to be that to be with her
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're dealing with your homeboy. You're not dealing with your girl. You dealing with your homeboy. No
You're
matter
dealing with
he might-
competition every day, bro.
every day.
Everybody,
Every
you
day
know what it
is a
is? You open the door and then you got to cross her up and do the layup and a 3-pointer every day. The second you walk in the door, you got to cross her up, do a layup, or do a 3-pointer every single day. Who wants to deal with that?
right. Exactly. So
Right?
I know I'm being a little facetious, but honestly,
Mhm.
I don't see how it is that you know you you want to deal with that person. That's your intimate partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I want to sit around and shoot shit with the homeboys, that's what I do. But when I want
Mhm.
to be with my woman, that's a different type of energy that I want to
Yeah,
have. And I just don't want to come home all the time battling over the little stuff because everything with her is going to be a competition.
bruh.
You know,
And you
grape
remember what
juice.
she said to Iyanla Van Zant? She said, you know, I've been told to put the gavel down on dates. Bruh, you're admitting it to you're in like it's like that's not a badge of honor, right? You understand, like sometimes people get a weird sense of a compliment when you really try to tell them like you fucking up, like
Yeah.
like that's not this is not a badge of honor. Like those dudes are, they actually gave you the time to give you a warning, like bro, you could put the gavel down. We're not, this is not one of those type of situations,
Right.
right?
Right.
And like clearly, but it's something you mentioned earlier where the women should pretty much go to China. But okay, let's go into that. So all of a sudden, American women that want 6 foot tall plus dudes are gonna go to China and deal with average dudes that's 5'7" and stuff, and that are don't got no swag worth a damn. And like these type of, like all of a sudden because they can't get dudes in America. No, I don't see it. I
Bro,
don't
they
see
gonna,
it.
damn
But where,
well these
okay,
guys
but
gonna
ask
try to
yourself,
get
where's the
us.
surplus of dudes, right?
No, you're
And
right
you
though.
might
You're right. But still,
you
yeah,
might
I
say,
don't see
okay,
it.
there might be some African countries, but if the young ladies go to Africa and try that BS that they get away with in the
Nah, bro.
US,
We already
it's gonna
hear.
be
Now we hear the stories. The you
yeah,
already hear the stories of them sisters either going missing, uh-oh, or somebody done put the paws on them.
yep. Back in the day, you used to call it chin check. So
Hey,
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude or anything.
yep,
I'm just laying out the facts. I'm just giving out the facts and analysis. The easiest thing for these women to do is to change their personality. Is to
yeah,
change the way they think. Is change their frame of references. And this is why wife school is important. Finishing school is important, but nobody wants to invest in that. They don't see the value in that. But
yeah.
absolutely, there should be some type of like sisterhood training. They need to fix this because if
But I
not,
think for them,
it,
it's the other side of what we're saying. For them, it's do finishing school for who? For these men? They're not
Exactly.
on my level. And I'm like, fine.
Just saying.
If we're gonna have this stare off, somebody's gonna blink. Somebody's gonna blink. And what it looked like is that we called women's bluff and they cracked. They
Yeah.
had the run of the conversation for 50 years. And we
true.
called their bluff for not even a whole 10 years in the black manosphere and they cracked already.
See, I actually trust the conversation coming from white women more than I trust it coming from black women because
Low key, I agree with you. Yeah.
we understand what white women did, and black women try to talk as if their position is the same when it's not. So when I hear
Mhm.
when I hear the white women talking about it, they're looking for guys within their class. So
Mhm.
certain upbringing, even if they're blue collar guys, they still live within the same community. You get what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
but because I
You
see
went
how
out, bro. Oh,
No,
you
no,
went out for a second. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah,
so
yeah.
so so when you're looking at white women, because I live in a multicultural neighborhood, a lot of white people, Asian,
Mhm.
black, everything, and the white people, there's a doctor, full blown master's degree doctor, doctorates everything, work at the
Mhm.
hospital, and I see her walking down when I'm at work. Now, say what up, neighbor, and she lives 3 blocks down from me.
Mhm.
Her husband's not a doctor. That nigga does, the white boy does HVAC.
Yeah.
You know
Yep.
what I'm
I mean,
saying?
he's still earning some good money probably,
Oh
but yeah,
yeah,
for her it's
yeah.
like yeah, but for her it's different. And I look, black women and white women are coming kind of from different angles. Black women are saying, I never got it though. The
Hmm.
issue is like white women, they get to choose to be with blue collar dudes. I never had a choice to be white collar with a white collar black man who's ball out of control, and I got my own thing. So I'm not doing it, right? And like I want to be. Why can't I be a classist?
Yeah.
Right, like
Yeah.
that for them it's different. Like for them
Oh,
it's white
we're
women get to
hearing.
make the choice. I don't. I'm being forced to deal with the men I think I'm better than.
Well,
That,
But that's not the case. Most
But yeah.
people, a lot of people marry up. That's how you move in class. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
For centuries, men have been marrying women below class or at
Yes.
class or a little bit a step below, and that's how most women. If you look at their being wealthy, their wealth has come from either divorce or death of their husband. That's
Yes.
just how it is. Women ask to be in the position of power. So that means you have to sometimes marry at class or below. Please, guys, y'all gonna tell me there was, I don't know what school she went to. I think it was
Mhm.
Stanford or Harvard, whatever school. You gonna tell me there
Who,
was no
Ebony?
black dude? Yeah, Ebony.
Oh, she went to Chapel Hill.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I don't know what law school she went to though, but she went to
You gonna
Chapel
tell
Hill.
me there's no black dude at UNC
Hmm.
Chapel Hill?
it's not that. It's not
Yeah.
that. See,
There was
people
guys at
over.
her level that she did not want. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Check it out. Check
She's
it.
not ugly. She
No.
had choices of men.
The
Yeah.
majority. The
She's the reason
majority.
why.
The
Mhm.
majority
Go
of
ahead.
women truly
Hmm.
don't get to practice hypergamy. It's over exaggerated with how
Facts.
the word is used.
Absolute
It's
facts.
like
Hmm.
people are looking at hypergamy like she's having sex with a rich guy, but you have to marry into it. So the majority
Yep.
of people literally married into their class.
Yes.
It's been shown the majority. Like
That's a
even
fact.
me, the conversation that me and BGS and you had, I said,
Hmm.
look, the finest hood girl will get the rapper or the football player. But guess what?
Hmm.
That rapper or football player is still from the same community that woman's from. She's just the
Yeah. Up and come.
finest
Yeah.
out of the entire bunch. It's not like these
Hmm.
athletes marry a upper middle class, like true upper middle class. Parents bought their house for
Hmm.
50,000, land for 30,000, and now it's worth like $10 million, and he marries him. That shit doesn't happen.
Hmm.
Okay, they marry literally from the same class. It. And when I learned about this was when I read the book White Trash, and they were talking about
Hmm.
upward. There's not really upward. There's unilateral and
Yeah.
sideways mobility and shit for white people. So that whole hypergamy thing for I say shit maybe 90% more or more people, because when you take a look at the
Yep.
numbers, some of those guys are still going to marry within their classes the people they go to college with. So that's not really hypergamy.
But it
So
you know what it is
What
though,
it is
Leo, real quick, Big Kev, let me get this up. It's what Nameless speaks about when the 1% becomes the 99%, right? So their imagination is because one or two, because it does happen every once in a blue moon, because they see that one or two chick that gets put on the escalator, and you see her going up and she waving back down at they ass, right? They see one or two women get put on the escalator, and they think, okay, that's a thing, it's gonna be me, and like all the women go rush the escalator, and then if for some reason they can't get past this invisible barrier, but because they
oh,
saw one or two chicks go up the escalator, we can all do it. and
Prince
and
Harry's wife.
like you said, most women, most people marry in class. That's an absolute fact, 100%. And people have class and income all type of messed up, bro. Just because your dude earned 15 grand more than you don't mean you married up in class. Stop it, right? So they're thinking like this, and it's really having an effect. I said thinking, sorry, they're feeling like this, and it's really having an effect on the actual dating and marriage market, right? And go ahead, Big Kevin, and we'll have whoever wants to speak after.
No, what I was saying is that yeah, and that's exactly what you're saying, Mr. Z. Like you said, it's the aspiring to be hypergamous. You know
Yes,
what I mean? That's destructive here because it's
it's
kind of
ripping
like
the
this.
world apart.
Again, to use a football analogy, like imagine if there was a team, let's say they were down by three and they're within field goal range on like the last play of the game, and like say for example, instead of settling for the field goal, they go for the win. Well, hey, if you
Mm,
win, that's like, hey, great. You know what I mean?
yep,
You know what I
yep.
mean? But if you lose, you're gonna get mocked and ridiculed and be like, dumbass, you should have kicked the field goal and went for the tie and tried to win it in overtime. You know what I mean? Like when these women are being hypergamous, that's pretty much their equivalent of going for it at the end of the game when you're
Going
in
for
field goal.
broke. You
Exactly, going
going
for
for
broke.
broke.
Like you
Hey,
said, if
and
you win, you win, and if you
yep.
lose, you're gonna get mocked for being stupid because hey, like you said, why didn't you just simply go for the tie? I mean, worst case scenario, you end up tying, but again,
No, no.
it
See,
Go
what I'm saying
it's your
is,
opinion.
what I'm saying is, Ebony, she
hmm
had to win. She was at the University of North Carolina.
hmm
She was in access and proximity to black men of her class, even maybe higher class and lower class, but she was in proximity. So she was the team that had the ball. They're in the lead, and all they had to do was take a knee
In other
and
words,
come out the champion.
in
She
other
ain't
words,
taking the knee. She was
So
like, you
she
know
pulled
what?
real quick.
Let me
Tampa,
try to get
finish
another.
up.
Let me try to
Wait,
get
wait, wait,
another
wait, wait, wait.
touchdown out this
Tampa,
bitch.
Tampa, go ahead
And
and
then
finish, and then you go. Lion, go ahead.
she was more like, let me try to get another touchdown out this bitch and run up the score. I'm up, and then she ends up throwing that pick six and losing the game.
no
Yeah,
worse.
That's
like
more. That's
yeah,
more equivalent
Wait,
to
wait, wait,
what
wait. Let me
this
let me answer this
situation is.
question because look, and T Rex asked me, Z, are you auditioning to be on Bad Fates Dating on the Left discussion? T Rex, if you could get me a conversation with Brianna Joy Gray, I might show my face on her channel. If that's a thing, if you know her and I could be on Bad Faith podcast with her speaking about dating and the dating market and all this other stuff, I would do that. That might actually be the first. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
and I
But
find
if
it
you just
funny how
ask me
the
a random question, but I'll still do that. Yeah, if you ask me a random, I'll still that'd still be a yes. But yeah,
and
but
and
yeah,
uh and
but go ahead and finish your point.
yeah, yeah, I'm saying I'm not trying to take a swipe at everybody on the left, but it's like,
Yeah, go ahead.
man, like they really got a whole podcast called literally Bad Faith, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's just one
Yeah,
of those things like, But
yeah, yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
but yeah, like but yeah, like what the guy was saying, yeah, and really that's what it is for like a lot of these chicks. It's like, you know, it's really. I mean, obviously people can talk, crap about me because I'm not in the best shape or whatnot, but it's like,
Mhm.
if you're a woman, right? If you're an attractive young woman, and you have a good relationship with your dad, and you're somehow struggling, especially in today's environment where it favors you,
Mhm.
I mean, it's really hard to feel sorry for you because, like you said, like you said, it's like you're up by double digits with the ball in your hands,
Bruh,
and you lose the game. Talk about some, I don't know what happened. Like, what do you mean? Just hand the
you know
ball
what
off.
it
Don't be a
is?
fucking hero.
I
You
I
know?
I, I look at it for my car analogy. Yo, how did you lose with this Bugatti in your hands? You got a whole. You got
Exactly. You
you
got a
what this is.
BMW GTR and you
No,
lost.
but it's like the
What
meme. It's like the meme. No, you know that meme of the dude who's like really skinny in reality, but in the mirror he
Mhm.
sees himself, he's yoked up.
Yeah,
Same thing with females. Same thing with women. They don't know they're in a Lamborghini.
I
And
think I think I think they do know they're in a Lamborghini. This is the thing.
hmm
Like if even if you look at Curry's wife or particular other people,
yeah,
then you look at LeBron James and it's like he's the center of his attention, and she's perfectly all right with that.
yep,
But some women want to be just as socially important as their husbands.
no,
So
yeah.
if they cannot get any level of shine, they're not going to be happy. And you got women that just want to
Shout out
be
to Jada
superior,
Pinkett Smith.
you know.
Oops.
Yeah, yeah, we have a lot of examples. So
Mhm.
then I was watching some video where I think it was Beyonce's mom with the guy she was married to.
Yeah,
She's kind of
yep,
light skinned.
yep.
I saw that, and I think they just divorced. And it's
Yeah, they
like,
did. Yep, yep, yep.
and and it comes
Where you
down to
think
so
you,
many so many little
Leon?
factors in it.
2 seconds, Leon. Where you think you going at 70?
I have
Go ahead. Now
no
you can finish.
idea where she thinks she going.
And my thing is, it's like you really don't know like what you're gonna get as it goes on. See, my woman, she likes working. She doesn't like being
hmm
the center of attention. I'm
hmm
loud when I go out, so it's like,
Yeah, me and my
you
girl
know what
kind
I'm
of have that
saying?
same dynamic. Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta.
So
Yeah.
you gotta look for these dynamics that actually the women want and that you're okay with. But some of the
hmm
dynamics are things that guys aren't interested in. There's
Yep.
a lot of guys that don't mind dealing with women that make so much money because they make decent money and they doing
Yep.
their job.
Yeah.
and they do their job, and the women just loud, whatever, and they just be on the side doing their shit. And that's respected because they want to be the center of attention, and the nigga doesn't really care about that. So it's just there's so many like nuances and crazy shit that even began understanding the unknown of these goddamn women when you're in a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
no, what you're saying, what you're saying is very important and true. The dynamics in these relationships are stuff that men are not signing up for. We've all seen it where the woman is she's loud and they make it work and he's kind of quiet in the corner, but he a man's man. He's still running shit, but he don't care about the spotlight. She does. Then you meet the other ones, which is more like me and my lady, where I'm the talker, she's really not, right? Like, but my lady is educated, right? And she, bruh, I don't really know how many people can stand up to her in Jeopardy. I can't, right? I think BGS, maybe some of the PhDs and stuff, but like in the black man, like maybe Obsidian and stuff like that. But like, bruh,
So
she's. It's very. If you hear me saying I can't handle her in Jeopardy, then you understand what I'm saying, right? So, but I'm the talker, right? So there's these dynamics, and I think the ladies want something that's not actually feasible, which is this weird hodgepodge of like being free and liberated and doing my own thing and being independent while he's still the structure, right? And he still holds up the structure, but he sees me as an equal, but not so much as an equal where he won't be the protector provider, but
bro,
lets me get the last word in, but also put his foot down, but like, and they're admitting, by the way, these ladies say the word unicorn, bruh. They say
bro,
unicorn on this damn video.
bro, they want to be a boxer and a kickboxer, and they want a guy that's a boxer and a kickboxer. Then they go to the UFC and get their ass beat.
Bro.
pretty much,
It's
pretty
just
much.
It's
this
like they want
this
they
shit ain't
want
gonna work.
they want those matching traits, right? With a little extra, but then when you go into reality, you get your ass beat.
I
It's
mean,
like,
here's the thing.
okay,
They want. They want to practice hypergamy, but they want the guy who is their best hypergamous option to not. They don't want him to know that he's better than them. So they
I,
want
I
him.
don't know.
They
My
want
bad.
him to still look at it. They want him to still look at her like a partner.
I don't think it's hypergamy though. I think that's the wrong. It's like I don't know. I look at hypergamy different.
They want
Mhm.
both. They want
Yeah,
both.
I can
It
say
makes
I can
no
say
sense.
that.
Yeah,
No,
it
but
makes no sense.
that's what I say, right? Like
Yeah.
they want feminism and patriarchy
Okay.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they
that and
want.
that's that's what it is. I've said it to FD. I say it everywhere I go. Modern women want they want all the good parts of patriarchy, the parts they think are good parts of patriarchy, which is mainly the provider protector part of patriarchy, but they want the parts of feminism that says I go out and do my own thing. I'm my own independent woman while still kind of not being independent because you provide the structure and the stability, right? But you
Well,
still
wait.
don't dictate to me. You see me as an equal, but what, like I said, not equal
Yeah,
enough where you don't do these things like it. And
So let me
it's
tell you
just
about my
that's not gonna
neighborhood,
work.
man.
Go ahead, yo. Go ahead.
I moved here a while back, right? And I see white ladies jogging at nighttime, bro.
Yeah.
And so when people say that, I wonder if that's what that means. Like, I want the good things of patriarchy to where I can say a nigga can't say to me it's not safe out here, and I'm gonna go jogging at 8:30 at night and shit.
I think all women kind of want that, where the overarching structure is men protect men, not your individual man per se,
Yeah, that's
but
what I'm
men
saying.
have created an environment where you're safe enough to do whatever. And like
Yeah,
when you listen to black women talk, they're actually saying it. So this is where black women are far more honest than I would argue any other women. Men
yeah.
create, and I keep on saying the tent, right? Create the tent that protects me from the rain, also
Hmm.
that allows me to talk to any man however I want, because I don't need to be reliant on him per se, because you've provided this overarching safety net and safety tent that I can mingle and deal with whatever man I want, however I want, because I'm never subject to the full brunt of the consequences of my actions if they're bad actions. If I make a bad choice knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, it won't matter because I have this tent and I have this net that protect me from the rain, the tent, and then protect me from falling to my death, the net, right?
Yeah, and all
Yeah,
the
that's
guys
like,
within the
that's like
community,
some of
like,
the rich, what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
want capitalism for themselves when they're making profits. But
yeah,
when it comes to risk and it
exactly.
comes to stuff falling apart,
Socialism.
oh, we communists, we all involved in this.
Hmm.
So, these banks about to fall apart. Yeah, we all involved, what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We all need some money. But when
Too
these
big to
banks
fail
get
that
there,
shit. Yeah,
they get their profits. Oh, thank you. It's for us, not for thee. So
yeah.
it's kind of like that same thing. But the thing is, women have to understand the reality of things. You can want a lot of things, and no one is out here saying that you cannot want what you want. But we're also saying that if you're going to live in this reality, you have to understand it's an ecosystem. If you do
Hmm.
one thing, it affects the other. If
Yep.
you wanted to be the boss chick, if you wanted to be a head, then that means that you're the one who has to be the protector and the provider. And that means that you
I
might
don't
have
see
to have.
no girl going down no temple. I don't see no damn woman going down no stairs. Leon's in his home right now with his lady. Leon, your lady going down the stairs to see where you went bumping tonight?
my
Nah,
house is
Shit.
2,000 square feet, but it's only
Yeah.
one level. I got Benelli's, I got ARs, bro. I got a gun that if somebody comes in my house, I can shoot it through the wall and hit them from the
Yeah, but
angle
but
that I want to
the
hit them
the
from.
the question
You know what I'm saying?
is your lady grabbing the shit or are you?
Oh man, I'm grabbing the shit. I get a three,
That's
bro.
that that's
Let me.
that's the question. That
I used to
that's what
live
I'm
in
saying. Look,
Baltimore, bro. Like this nice
that's what
shit
I'm
be
saying.
creeping me
They
out,
want they
bro.
want they
I
want
want
that
something to come through my door.
no, they want a man like you to, what I'm saying, to be that protector.
yeah.
Absolutely, that's what they want. If something shit goes wrong, but
Hmm.
not your lady, but the modern woman would say, in every other situation, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you know
That's where
what?
the disconnect comes.
See,
Nah,
and
see, my
that's
mom's on that
Because how
spot.
can I? That's the disconnect. Because it's almost like they just want us to be guard dogs, protect
yeah.
dogs, and that's
No, but that's
about
what I
it.
said. Oh yeah, no,
A,
we call that. I've been saying that. Yeah.
ATM and a guard dog. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
That seems to be our
yeah.
only designation.
I see a lot of that,
Mhm.
but I think it's like them asking for like the bare minimum. At least have that attribute before we get to the other ones. But why you get shamed for lacking in other areas? Because the
Mhm.
next thing they're going to tell you about is your lack of communication and understanding. And,
Oh,
and
you mean
you
the
know,
emotional intelligent crap that
the
they were on
emotional
a
intelligence.
couple years ago? Yawn.
Yeah,
And
you're a
and
narcissist because you don't understand.
bruh, I wish, bro. Me and my lady, like I remember randomly, we were watching something, and when you hit the person, they didn't even say or do anything, but you just look at them like, I wish you would. And I gave my girl one of those. I wish you would call me emotionally unintelligent, right? But she would never say that about me because of the way like. I'm really on some Pepe Le Pew, Shelly Doo Doo, kiss kiss stuff with my lady. I smother her. So she could never say anything like that, right? She could finishing her sentences, all that. Well, that's the Creole, that's the Haitian side of me, right? Like that's the French Haitian side of me that's on that heavy ass shit like that. But what I see women using that as an excuse because men, especially in the black manosphere, we came to the table with all of our numbers, our files, all of the, hey, this is that, this is why this is happening, this is why that is happening, these are the numbers. And all they have left was the emotional shit. All the things that you may not be able to measure, and that's where all this
Yeah,
emotional intelligence crap comes in, right? In
and
other words, cater to my feelings. Translation,
the
right?
That means
unintangible. That's the
nothing.
word, right?
Yeah.
Unintangible, right? Unintangible. Is that the right word for it?
Yeah, but
What?
emotional intelligence means nothing. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
All it means is that you be aware of my feelings. But
Exactly.
Exactly.
that's not emotional. But here's the thing: that's not emotional intelligence. That's just awareness of what I'm going through. No, emotional
And
intelligence.
what black man does, bro? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That's what it
You
means.
trying to tell me we talking about black men raised in America mainly by single moms, and we don't know how to read women?
Yeah.
Right. Go
Come on,
They
figure.
man.
know how to read me and respond to me,
Yeah.
but I
Let
want
me
them not
tell
to
you
read
guys.
me and
Right.
Let me
respond
tell
to
you
me.
guys. Black women go through so much, and and it's just like, damn. Like, do you understand? I've heard this since like 1 years old, since I was in a diaper. Like, I
Yeah.
Bro.
know this
Yeah.
Bro.
is like.
But
As
fellas,
soon as a
man,
baby
I have to
starts eating
go. I
right,
have some stuff to do here this morning here in
Tampa
the
got a
Philippines.
candygram. Anyway, go
Nah,
ahead,
man, I
Ed.
gotta work, man. I got some students to work with, man. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, the time and opportunity to speak real
No,
fast, Mr. Z.
thank you for coming up, Tampa.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, bro. Well, yeah.
I think it's just hard to deal with the emotional intelligence when you heard it so much since a kid. You hear it from your
Yeah.
aunties, your
Yeah.
cousins, girls in school, your college, everywhere you look. How much we go through stuff, and it's like, okay, okay. Then you get in a relationship, and something doesn't go her way. And my woman doesn't do this shit, but
Mhm.
I've experienced it in past
Thank God, mine's
relationships,
either.
and
Yeah.
it's like, yo, it's like it just gets burnt out. It's just like it's just once they say it, it's just like you're looking at them. It's like, yo, grow the
Mhm.
fuck up. And you just want to move on and give them tough love, and they don't accept tough love. And then you understand because half of them don't. Well, the majority of them don't got daddies that ever experienced that. So it's like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
They and I'm and so that's the flip. Here's the two juxtapositions. There's the ones with the dads, and the dads spoil them rotten, and then wonder why your brat ass daughter is 33 years old and can't get no or keep a man worth a damn. And then there's the other ones where they didn't grow up with a father in the home, so they never heard no bass in the voice. They never heard no authority tell their mom go sit down somewhere, or hey Rebecca, I'm working, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
babe, not right now, right? They never heard nothing. So like any type of any type of assertive man is an aggressive man, right? Any type of bass in his voice, like they don't get to see their dad mitigate for shit. In other words, your dad don't be barking on your mom. He's not abusive, none of that stuff. But he does get the final word when he chooses to flex it, which is not often. They never see no shit like that.
No, because they are, and then that, on top of that shit, they want to be the main aggressor. They
Thank
want to
you.
be the main aggressor, and they think they call it being a serve. Like, no, you're really trying to be a dude.
Bro, I'm so glad that we're talking like no, bro, you're not assertive, you're aggressive,
You're not a serve. You're aggressive. You're
Yeah,
not.
right?
and that's what BGS was talking about because my thing is when he was talking about leadership traits versus
Hmm.
alpha traits, and it
Hmm.
was actually GG,
Hmm.
and I told him like I I've been a manager one time and I hate it. I'll fire
Mm.
everybody, but I'm always been a trainer at every job, but the one at the hospital that I have. But in my other
Yeah.
job that I still work, I'm still a trainer there. I enjoy training. I enjoy certain things, but there's certain things I would have to let go to be in management. I couldn't be as funny as I am, or open to certain conversations. And when you're
You don't
not a
want to
manager,
promote
you can do
yourself
that.
out of a job. Go ahead.
I don't want to promote myself out of me being me and being
Okay, yeah,
happy.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, yep,
So I
yep.
would have to take away so many traits of mine, even with people that joke and we talk. I'll be talking to white boys about dumb shit,
Hmm.
cussing, having
Hmm.
fun, talking all. You can't do that when you're a manager, and
Yeah, when
that's where
you're
I'm.
yep. We all see
And
them. The person that's
yes,
on your level, then they get promoted, then they always got the stern face. Motherfucker can't eat lunch with you no more, and you get it.
yeah,
You get
and
it.
you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so I'm happy as a trainer and
Hmm.
a person that people come up to me and ask me why do the managers never say shit to me because I'm
Hmm.
always top three that can't say shit to me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And you're not me, dog.
Hmm.
Worry about them saying shit to you.
Yeah.
That's where I'm happy. So I think a lot of women try to have that alpha attitude, but then they mix it up with leadership. And I think after listening to that video,
Hmm.
I say, yo, it makes sense. People actually think this type of attitude is leadership when it's not. You know
It
what I'm saying?
it's it's when it's for me, it's thinking that strong is aggressive. or aggressive is strong. Better yet, aggressive is strong. I said
Yeah.
it the wrong way first time. Aggressive is strong, and there's a lot of women in our modern era, particularly in the black community, because we're black and we pretty much date black women, who think that being aggressive is a sign of
Hmm.
strength. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you're a chihuahua, bro. You're
Actually,
not, you're not, you're not strong, you're aggressive. You're actually Charmin tissue soft, right? But you're I remember a young lady I used to work with, butch lesbian chick. Boy, she was aggressive as shit, but she was soft as hell. She was
Yeah.
soft as hell. You couldn't tell her nothing without hearing the crack in her voice, and she about to cry. But she was aggressive as shit.
that's
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed
that's
that
wild.
about
Yeah,
when I had lesbian. I ended up seeing one of them out of work. I was like, "What up?" And put my arm around and started talking to her. Then it was a time. It was like 8 years ago. Like somebody heard the way that she was talking to me, and they're like, "Yo, she doesn't talk to me like that." And I
Yeah.
talked to her about it. I'm like, "Yo, but it was kind of hard to explain because it's like I came to her. She's coming to y'all about issues. I
Mm,
came to her and talked to her, and so we have a relationship. Like she knows how she can just come to me if there's anything, but she doesn't know how to come to y'all, so she comes to y'all aggressive because y'all are aggressive.
hmm.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it's a mixed bag, how you interact with people. But when it comes to our women, they think that alpha mentality is what's good when it's not.
Yeah.
We might need
And you,
Gigi
I
to do
mean,
a
this is the
video on
thing. And you know what I'm gonna do to you know how I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna do a video on that shit, and I already know the example I'm gonna use. I'm gonna record that shit. It's Carl bringing that up on the grapevine and saying like pretty much y'all women can have these type of dudes that let you do that shit. Y'all don't want them, and I said it before. Like they want to break wolves. They don't want domesticated dogs. They want to break wolves,
yeah,
it.
yeah.
right?
That's
And
what they
like
want.
there's bro, we the clip that BGS plays where the woman from the 70s, right? Where they were having a discussion and the woman is saying like, y'all men let us run shit and like you're gonna have to take it from us. And what ends up happening, them bitches end up single and alone. Because the 10 toes down men are like, bitch, for me to take it from you, it's gonna be DV in this damn house. I'll take it from you, all right. You ain't gonna like how I take that shit from you. And then the other men that are the pushovers, they eventually run over those dudes and they don't want to be with those dudes. So you got the men that are staying away from them because it's like, bro, it's gonna be a situation in that damn house if I have to take my power from you. And then the
Yeah.
other dudes let them run shit, and then it end up being a fallout too because maybe one day he raise up and then or he go get milk and don't come back for 20 years, right? Like shit like that. So that aggressive thing, it don't I I think we're dealing with a group of people that really don't understand that this hasn't worked for their mom or their grandma, and
Yeah.
then they still do. Why you still pulling the same thing? But you know what? It's because you're not being introspective and you don't care,
No,
and
no, also,
whatever comes with that.
but also because it works. Because unfortunately, it works.
I
It
mean, it
in
worked. I
some
don't know if it's
ways,
working.
not now. It's not now. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
now. But the only reason is because they're trying to change because men are slowly starting to change as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
The thing
that's what I'm
about
saying.
aggression is they view female aggression as normal. Male aggression is anger
Yeah,
in
yeah,
their mind.
exactly.
They
Yeah,
can't
yes,
deal, and they
yes.
Yeah.
can't deal with that. That's why the
Yeah.
first thing, like, it's fine with them to get animated and say something, but as soon as you fire back, they tell you to calm down.
Yeah. Well, because male aggression, they know what that could lead to.
Yeah,
Number one, they know what that could lead to. Number one.
yeah,
Number two, all their screeching and yelling is different than your barking. Y'all
yeah,
Yeah.
have all of y'all seen the meme that's going around where the Dobermans are there and the female Doberman is trying to get the pup to calm down,
yeah,
and the pup is still going at her, and then the male Doberman just barks one time,
yeah. I
and
had a
that
girl.
baby pup is at attention.
Yep, I
Yeah. I've
literally had
seen
an
those.
exchange with I literally had an exchange with my ex girlfriend because she did that one time when I was talking to her, and she took it as me yelling at her, and then I actually yelled at her. I was like, "That's the difference." That she got,
Yeah,
and that's exactly what she did. She got upset and she went in the other room and sat down.
yeah. Because that's that's
I,
that's bro. I've not raised my voice per se to my lady. not yet, and we've been together for a minute now. But I have taken the tone though,
Oh man,
right?
I've done it all, bro. I didn't
Yeah,
raise the tone. Like my woman
that
came at
assertive
me
tone
one
is something
time,
else, bro.
man. She came at me one time, and I just flipped. And I was like, play
Yeah,
with me, you know. And I came across the room, and she went running because she knows me from the past. So I just did it to scare the shit out of her. It's like, yo, you check yourself. I was like,
hey,
this education.
you
I
hit
get
her with
this.
the cube. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, before I came, I wasn't gonna do shit. It was just
Yeah,
like, oh, say to my fucking face. Let me roll
no.
up to you, like.
No,
No, my girl
I
not a
ain't gonna
box.
do
So
this shit.
if I did that shit, I really gotta mean that shit because
yeah,
she might hit me with a two piece if I do that shit. So
no,
I
No.
really gotta be yeah. No, she not about her dad
No, but
did
that
amateur
was my
boxing
point.
back in the day. So if I run up on my lady, I gotta be ready to throw down for real, for real.
No, that was my point. I'm like, yo, if you
Yeah,
gonna have that energy, make sure you have it with the world, not someone just in your world that
yeah,
has that type of energy for the world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Don't try it with me if you're not gonna go out in the world and use it.
Yeah, man.
That's
It
all I'm
really
saying.
bro. It they do things in the moment, not think. And this is a human thing. This is not even exclusively a woman thing. Cool, but then they don't know how to apologize after the fact, and now you're the freaking perpetrator of some heinous crime, or you're Mr. Mean Guy or Mr. Bad Guy or Mr. Insensitive, etc., etc.
I don't care. I'll
Yeah,
leave. I don't. It's to the point that I think
nigga
it's to
said
the
I'll
point
be
that
that. This
women.
nigga think he Red Man. Go ahead.
Men just gotta start being indifferent to that shit. We got to be
No, I agree.
either way you look, you're gonna be the bad guy. Even when you're
Oh
doing
yeah,
the right thing,
well
you're
yeah,
the bad guy.
yeah.
So
That
to
that
the
just
point,
come with
men
the
are gonna have to
territory.
start being indifferent to that.
Yeah, that come with the territory. That yeah, yeah. I I I don't know. Like I said, I don't yell. I take a tone and I make comments. Right. Like me and my girl were talking about something one time, and I do the sit down and we go over the budget and the money thing, and like she was BSing a little bit, and when we finally got to the good part, all I had to do at the end was like, okay, it's clear that you don't want me to have nice things, and I got up and left. like, like bro, you make comments like this is the thing. If you're with a woman that's really about you and you're really about her, shit like that hurts the shit out of them. But if you're with a woman that don't give a fuck, you'll be like, nigga, I don't care if you have nice. Nigga, what the fuck? What do you even mean by that comment, right?
Bruh.
But yeah,
I told BGS a while back. It's like my woman tried me, right? I sent her ass back to her daddy's house to think about that shit because she was living.
oh man, we got 10 minutes, y'all. We got 10 minutes,
uh,
but yeah, but no, that's that.
yeah. Like, bruh. I'm talking about. She used to stay at my house, study, do work. This is the early
hmm
20s and shit. When we first date, she
Yeah.
came at me about some shit because I told her to do some shit and she wasn't getting it. So I was like, I gave her a few bags when she came back. I said, yo, stay over your parents' house for a little while. I was like, this is my place. She
Man.
called me back, apologizing. It just seeps in when you got to be around your younger brothers and sisters again, and you got to share a shower and fucking laundry
It's
and
that,
Wi-Fi.
and you never know if her parents had a conversation with her, like, bro, you fucking up. What you doing?
Yeah, what you
This nigga
doing?
done sent you back home. What happened?
I did it.
Right?
I did it, bro.
Because I've definitely, and it's a twofer. Like, I will say, I've had conversations with my dad about me and my girl, and he'd be like, yo, like, hey, don't fuck that up. But then I've definitely seen her mom give her a look like, hey, he done came downstairs. Where his food at?
Bro, let me add to the story.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let me
yeah.
add to the story. So I hit up my grandfather. He was like, just make her pay a little something, something. My mom said the same thing. So she
Yep.
came to me and was like, well, I could pay the water and electric. I said,
Mhm.
yo, let me think about that. And so I went to my mom. I said, y'all about to break her off 50-50. She's like, no, you make more money than her, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna make her
Mhm.
pay on. And I was like, all right, so she's like, I'll pay the cable. Bro, I went and got HBO, Showtime, and Cinema.
Ah!
And she didn't even
Hey, Leon said, I'm not a cheap date.
I went and
Bro,
got
I be joking with
HBO,
my lady
Showtime.
about that shit all the time. I'm like, babe, I'm a cheap date, bro. I'm a cheap date. You only be spending $30 type shit
Hell yeah.
when I want you to buy me something to eat. You be
Bro,
breaking my ass.
let
You
me
know
let
what I'm
me
saying?
just tell
Like,
you the last part though, bro. So, this is Game of Thrones, Walking Dead time when all those shows is popping. Insecure. She came to me and was like, this Time Warner bill's kind of expensive. And she's like, what can we cut out? And I was like, well, you like that show Insecure, don't you? And you
Uh-oh.
like whatchamacallit, the other, Dexter and all that. She's like, yeah, I love those shows. I was like, well, we can cut off HBO and Showtime. And she
Mhm.
just paused. She paused and just walked away.
Like, bro, this is so that's for real. Like, if you, bro, always said if you with somebody that's really with you, you put a bit of responsibility on their ass. Y'all just ride out. And I really think the issue in time that all that back to the subject matter at hand. What we're dealing with is people that they didn't really read the fine print. They
Yeah.
want some type of weird ass relationship dynamic where they run shit but kind of don't run shit. Like I this is the thing. Like I said, I don't think they read the fine print. So the relationship dynamics
Mhm.
aren't working for them, and yet they're blaming that on men, right? No, y'all got what y'all wanted. You just
Yeah.
didn't read the fine print, so you don't really like the outcome for your dating and relationship life, right?
Yeah.
That's
That's
all
what I
that
believe
is.
it is. That's what I believe it is.
Well, they better
Lack of
hurry up.
understanding. Lack of understanding. Lack of a lot of shit that I see. I just be like, yo,
And
you gotta be joking.
they don't empathize with men. They don't know how to.
Oh yeah.
Bro. Me and my girl talk all the time. I'm like, I would never trade with you. I don't want no monthly. I would never trade with women ever. I don't want the monthly. I don't want the mood swings. I would never. I don't underestimate what y'all go through. I don't want no parts of walking into a room. Like, I'm not a big dude. I would have never trade with women and be want to know what it feel like to walk on a street late night or walk in a room and it's like 3, 4, 6 foot tall plus muscle bound dudes, right? I don't want to know what that feeling is like. But I think on the other hand, they way underestimate what the hell we got to go through.
No,
Yeah.
it's solipsism, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's to the point I lowered my expectations when it comes to women a long time ago. I don't expect them to understand. I don't expect them to never even care to understand.
Yeah,
I think there's a few that will, but as a whole population, no, probably not. Probably not
true.
because now the world is like everything they've wanted has been accommodated for them, so they have no reason to. They don't really have a reason to,
No, no. What you're saying, yeah, that's what it is. And I think that's okay.
and
You
that's
don't have
fine.
to
Hmm. Yeah,
consider what I go through. That's not a requirement. But then you got to deal with the consequences.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, and that's fine for them to have that outlook, but
Hmm.
understand what comes with that.
Yeah, and that's
And
all it is.
that starts from childhood though, what they perceive that boys get treated compared to the girls and all
Oh
that
yeah,
type of
they think
shit.
we get treated better. They think we're allowed to be Peter Pans and they're forced to grow up, right? And that was the theme of the video I covered. Miss Inhorn spoke to it. The two white women. It's like where I covered. I think that was one of the first videos I ever covered. It was a white woman say, "We've done the work. The men haven't done the work. We've done the work." And I'm like, bro,
What?
you throwing a you don't realize you're throwing a temper tantrum. You
Hmm.
sound like a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum, and you're talking about y'all have done the work.
You know what
No,
they
y'all
mean by
haven't.
you know
They
what they
still
mean by
stuck at
done the work.
16.
I know what they mean by done the work. They mean they've done the work of doing the masculine roles and accumulating wealth and resources.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, the entire time when men are saying no, you haven't, what we're saying is no, you've done the work to become the man you want to date.
yeah, yeah.
So no, you haven't done the
No,
work from a man's perspective. You haven't
you've
done
become a great employee.
it. Yeah,
Congratulations.
exactly.
No,
Okay, you're a great employee, and you're killing it. You're earning, so you're a great employee, and you're a great consumer. Okay, great.
I had this conversation with two of my professors, right?
Hmm.
The first one, she was one of my early English teachers. She went through that whole thing to get that, master's and all that to be an English teacher.
Hmm.
And she had a daughter later on, and the daughter has, special need issues. And she was sitting down talking to me. She blamed herself, and I'm just like, you know, sh- you come from the generation where they push this, and you look to this goal to be a professor in English and all this kind of stuff. So when you look at how good you are, regardless if you went down this path, it would have been the same anyway if you wanted this. So you're
Yeah.
talking about changing your whole life. And the other one was my psychology teacher. She had a kid with learning disability, and it's like once you see how long it takes to get this education, what you have to put off. But then the difference is this: my lifespan teacher, my lifespan professor,
Hmm.
she went to a university, got a bachelor's, started working. She got married to a lawyer. She had three boys, and she went back to school 10 years ago. So she's like borderline almost 60. And she
Hmm.
went back to school, got her degree. Her kids are like, one's 22 during that period of time. So they're probably like 28 now or 27. But during that period of time, they were in college. And she went back to school to continue her education. So it's like I think I think they want to get to the finish line on that so fast when the ideal way is to go back to school when your kids are at school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How she did it. And I see her experience versus the ladies that got completely done, then started going down the road of having kids. It's totally fucking different. And
Leon,
then
let me
she
let me
understand, guys.
let me do this because I gotta close out.
Yeah.
All right. Let me read them because I had them highlighted for the longest, but I didn't read them. Let's do this. Lithium, thank you for the super chat. Debating not so erudite. The chick, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Not so erudite was must see TV. I think you're talking about what Brianna Joy Gray debating her, and T Rex's for the collection plate. And thank you very much, Mr. T Rex. Thank you very much. And Big Kev want to come up here. Literally, as I said, I got to close out. I literally gotta
Mhm.
clock in like a couple minutes. But go ahead, Big Kev. What you got?
Listen,
Mhm.
man. Thanks for these panels, Mr. Z. Again, thank you for being patient, man, and just thank you. Just thankful for all the people that are just open minded, willing to say this stuff, man. Because like you
Yep.
said, um, at some point, man, it's like you just gotta accept the fact that it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If you go along to get along, you're gonna be treated as a social outcast. If you
Mhm.
do what's in your own best interest, you're gonna be treated as a social outcast. So you may as well do what's in your own best interest. You know what I
I'd
mean?
rather be damn doing what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
And look, bro. At the end of the day, like I said, we men are just in a better position globally than women are. We can run the time the clock out, and that was one of the complaints on the video. They get to run the clock out and we can't, so we're going to use this technology to run the clock out if we want to, and or play the clock out if we want to, waiting for the unicorn, which is essentially what they were saying. So there's that. And I'll let Big Kev get that last word in, and that's
yeah,
it for
yeah,
me, y'all.
yeah. Basically, like you said,
Take it easy.
Mhm.
instead of acting like your shit doesn't stink, learn how to wipe and wash your ass correctly.
Right.
So
That part. And on that note, everybody, y'all like, share, subscribe. I'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. What's my other outro? Y'all
All
go
right.
check out other Black Manosphere content. I think Art New Style is on right now. I'm probably gonna be up there in a little bit. And y'all go check out other non-Manosphere content. That's how I came up on this again, because I looked up her name again because I forgot the professor's name, and I looked up her name again and I realized, oh wait, she did an interview not too long ago. And so I definitely wanted to cover that. And all right, y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, and we're out. All right, y'all.